102.7 Mom FM 942, 18 before the top of the hour. It is your station playing your hit music. It is Mom FM. Coming up tomorrow throughout the area for Mason County Central Schools is a important vote. And we're going to be talking, and they're in the studio right now. Jeff Mount, the superintendent of Mason County Central, he is here. And Kelli Stojic, she's the co-chair of the Vote Yes Committee to vote yes for this bond proposal. Good morning to you, Jeff. Thanks for coming in this morning.
Thanks for having us, Chris.
Yep, absolutely. And Kelli, thanks for being here.
Yes, hello.
And you have another individual on your back. What's going on?
I do. Yeah, so this is my youngest. This is Ansel.
All right.
He's joining us today.
First time on the radio.
First time on the radio.
All right, there we go. Well, let's talk to the two of you over the next couple of minutes. Jeff, we've had you back we've had you in the studio over time, talking about these bonds, and they haven't always gone the way that you've wanted them to go. And so over the next few minutes, we want to dive into this even more and be able to just kind of lay it out. Not only, the past of why there may have been concerns about voting yes and moving this ball forward for the school, but also, voter turnout has been an issue in the past, and what we can do in the next few minutes to either convince or move people over the fence, or maybe they're just going to take the decision that they're not going to vote for it. But over the next couple minutes, let's dive into everything that we can to be transparent about this topic. Fair?
Fair enough.
All right, let's do it. The vote yes side of things means that we would be voting for an increase of 1.6 million, right?
1.6 mils.
Okay.
Yep.
And what does that mean? Let's lay that out.
So that 1.6 mils will generate $31.54 million over the course of a 30-year span. Okay. It is sold in 3 series bonds. The first bond will generate almost $10.5 million. The second series, a couple years later, will generate another $5 to $6 million. And then the final in 2027 will generate a chunk of close to $16 million. And I'll just say those things, the priority of the work that's being done during those phases and those series will be the heavy lifting of the high school, B and C hall that we call them. The old parts of the high school will have a heavy lift, but also the front vestibules of every building will be upgraded to be a more secure system where our visitors will come to the school, get buzzed in like they normally will, but they will actually go into the office, not directly into the school. So our current system is when you buzz in, you have to come in, you can walk to the office, but you would have access to the entire building. Okay. So we got to be really careful on the buzz-in system. Mm-hmm. The final series, the 2027 series bond, which generates the big chunk of money, will go toward the Performing Arts Center. We don't have a name for it, but Performing Arts Center auditorium,
community event center.
Yeah, we're looking for it. If somebody's got a really good name for it, we're interested. Yeah. But it is about a 600-seat auditorium with today's bells and whistles that are needed to put on a nice show. It's also a multi-purpose classroom. It's not something that's just going to be used for a couple plays a year. It's going to be used throughout the entire year and by our community.
Okay, Kelli, what has been the challenge to convince the voters to vote yes on this?
I think one of the main things that we've seen with it being a May election and the only thing on the ballot, people often forget to go out. It doesn't necessarily get the same amount of press that a huge election in November would get. But I would like to remind people that in our area, our polling locations are really small enough that even if you have to bring your kids with you, you are in and out in 5 minutes. And it is so important for our kids to see our electoral process and see that their voice can make a difference. Even if you don't have childcare, you're not going to be waiting in line for 2 hours. Mm-hmm. You can get in and out.
As a parent, how important is this to you? And let's take off the hat of co-chair of this, of the committee there. But as a parent, what does this mean to you?
It's a really great question. I've mentioned it before on air. I have 4 kids. 3 of them are in the Mason County school district right now. This one will be in a couple of years. We plan to be a Mason County Central family until 2040, at least.
Okay.
Yeah. And for me, knowing that my kids are going to a school building where not only do we have the best educators possible providing lessons and an education for them, knowing that they're going to be safe while they do it, and that my friends who are teachers will have the safe facilities so that they don't have to hopefully ever step in front of a bullet to save their kids. You know, right now our buildings from a safety standpoint are not where they need to be given the world that we live in. And where the buildings will fail, I know that my friends in those buildings will give everything that they can to protect the kids, and I don't want to see that happen. So, you know, really, I think the focus on the safety side this year for me as a parent has been just kind of very emotionally charged.
Absolutely. If you're just joining us, we're talking with Superintendent for Mason County Central, Jeff Mount, as well as the co-chair of the Vote Yes Committee, Kelli Stojic, this morning. Jeff, I'm going to just ask you some straightforward questions here in regards to, from that security standpoint, from the safety standpoint. If this doesn't pass, I mean, how backwards do we go here in the future? What's going to prevent you from keeping these children safe?
Well, you know, we've done everything we can internally for training purposes of our staff. But what we have are buildings that are really outdated. They were not built for, and even our 2006 upper elementary was not built for the safety and security of today. We've learned so much. Sandy Hook has happened since then. The Parkland shooting has happened since then. So many, we see it on a daily basis. So it's not backward, but we need to focus forward. We need to focus on our current situation. You know, if it doesn't pass, we have to come back and do it again. We do, because it's so necessary for us to have safe and secure facilities. And I can only say that that's our highest priority, is always the safety of our students. We want to make sure it's a warm and welcoming environment. I don't want it to become one of those situations where you're putting 10-foot high fences and razor wire on top and it looks a lot like another institution. It is not. We want to be a warm and welcoming environment. However, we need to make sure it's secure. And a lot of glass, which was done in the 50s, which the high school was built in the late 50s. A lot of glass, even at our upper elementary, more than probably at the time. But in 2006-07, it wasn't that kind of a concern. Today it is. And it's not going to get, unfortunately, I don't think, any better in the future. So we need to do this today.
Well, let me be the devil's advocate for just a moment and tell me, for those that may have voted no in the past, why were they voting no?
Well, I certainly think the economy is a big part, right? I mean, you know, if somebody says, well, wait for a better time, and I don't have the crystal ball. Nobody does. I don't know when it's perfect, right? I don't know when it's right, but I know this, you know, that, you know, it's an investment, no doubt about it. You know, nobody likes their taxes to go up, but that is how schools are funded. School buildings are funded. We get an operational allowance per pupil each year. However, schools in the state of Michigan, we are one of 11 states in the country that do not fund their buildings. We have to do that locally, and that's how it's done. And I'll say a vote for Mason County Central, going to the polls, as Kelli mentioned, you know, you're in and out in 5 minutes, but that is a more profound vote than any other vote you'll ever do, presidents included, because I'm telling you right now, this money stays here locally, and it provides a future education for our kids.
Kelli, let's
Yes.
take this for a moment. People are going to ask, well, how much are my taxes going to go up? How much am I going to be forking out for this? What does that breakdown look like?
Yeah, so in Mason County, the average home market value right now is about $100,000. So if you look at the taxable value, that's actually only $50,000. It's about half of the market value. So the average increase per household in Mason County would be, I apologize.
It's okay. No, it's
would be about like $8 or $9 a month at the most. I mean, it's the cost of a pizza that you can pick up on a Friday night, and that monthly pizza dollar amount will help fund and protect our children in our school buildings, like Jeff said, for years and years to come. We've been very fortunate that the building has, we've been able to maintain it as well as we have, given the economy, and the district has worked so incredibly hard to do what they are able to do, but often they have to make, the best of two bad decisions. And we're at the point now where we can't keep doing that. We really need the community to step in and help us.
Jeff, let's, if you're just joining us, we're talking with Kelli Stojic and Jeff Mount here in the studio. Jeff, we talked a little bit in the early part of the segment that not a lot of voters came out. What are some of those statistics? Do you have those on the top of your head or not?
Yeah, sure. We lost by a couple hundred votes last year, and what we looked at was who voted and who didn't vote. And the surprise was of 750 registered parent voters in the district, only 125 voted. So that was kind of the gut punch for me last spring. Was, oh my gosh, we didn't connect with that community. And so we've really, the committee that Kelly's working with and others are really focusing on getting our parents out, because they're the ones that are going to be directly impacted in a very short term. Obviously our community will be impacted for a very, very long term. We take care of our buildings. That I just mentioned, our Scottville Elementary is an early 50s building. Still being done. It'll be there for another 50 years. The high school, a lot of parts of the high school are 50 years old. They need to be updated, but in the end, our folks, our parents will have a direct, like Kelly, her kids will be able to use that, Performing Arts Center auditorium. They'll be able to be in a high school that is not 1950s something. It is going to be updated, necessary. We did do a lot of the upgrades to a lot of our buildings in 2006-07, but that was 17 years ago even. We've redone the floor in the new gym 3 times since then. It has to be done, and it'll be done again this summer. We've got roofs going on our buildings as we speak. That's done all the time. But in reality is, we think the upper elementary is a new building. Well, that was 17 years ago. You have to update something from 17 years ago too, just like you would your own home.
Do you think that voters now are more apt to vote yes this year? I know you don't have this crystal ball, but at least you've talked to some of these voters out there, as the parents, such. What is the feeling out there? Is it more positive this year? Is it concerning? Where we stand?
I'm going to tell you, I cannot believe the momentum and energy that is out there compared to last year. Last year, I really kind of scratched my head because I wasn't getting, no, but I wasn't getting yes. I was just kind of getting apathy, right? Just kind of something in the middle. And in the end, this year, in this last month and a half, it has been an unreal level of energy. We have a very big group that Kelli is co-chairing that is coming and meeting every Wednesday and getting out there, making calls. We're calling out to our parents, making personal phone calls to them, and that overwhelming support is unbelievable. And so we just didn't have that last year, and this year it feels really good.
All right. As we get closer to wrapping up, what is the Kelli? I know you got your hands full there.
I'm so sorry.
No, you're okay. This is a topic about kids, and might as well have your child in. What is that message to the voters? What are the details that we're missing talking about this morning that we need to get out?
Yeah, so the polls are open tomorrow at 7 a.m. They are open until 8 p.m. Again, if you go to the Vote Yes for MCC Facebook page, I will have a list of polling locations up there this afternoon to confirm where you should go. I'm going to set him down for a minute there.
Yeah, no, that's fine.
And I cannot impress enough that our educators and our students deserve to have the support of their community behind them, whether you do it for safety, whether you do it because you have kids who can utilize that multi-purpose classroom. It's really just imperative. We had people investing in our education when we were children, and it's time that we invest in the future generations.
Is there anything else? We talk about this, and I want to, I want to exhaust this just a little bit more. The question or the concern is why this has come up time and time again, but voted down. We talk about the concerns for $8 or $9 per month per voter, which isn't a lot when you think about it, but there's a lot on our plates, right? There's expenses go up. But is there anything else that we can talk about to reassure that voter that this is the right thing to do? Anything?
When we look at the population of students in our schools, just looking from the performing arts standpoint, our 5th grade students have like an intro to band day where they can come and decide if they want to sign up for band in 6th grade. Out of 85 students in our 5th grade class this year, 60 of them are signed up.
Okay.
Our band room currently semi-comfortably holds about 40 students. And if we continue growing these programs at the rate that they are, which I fully believe we will, given the talent that we have teaching these kids, we're going to be outgrowing the facility completely in about 3 years, for those performing arts areas. We are one of 3 schools in our MSBOA district out of 24 schools that doesn't have an auditorium. That means that our students are always having to load their equipment up, go other places to participate in competitions and things like that. Okay. In the athletic conference of 14 schools, we're only 1 in 3 that doesn't have an auditorium. And the way that our current A.O. Carlson is set up in the winter, we have 5 basketball teams, the wrestling team, competitive cheer, forensics, drama, Christmas programs, everything like that has to use that facility. And oftentimes people are getting shuffled around. I have seen athletic equipment everywhere. We don't have the space to store it. So things are getting moved in and out. We just had the third through fifth grade music program in A.O. Carlson last week. And to get all of the chairs set up, it takes 8 to 10 people a very, very long time to get that set up. And then it pushes the other classes who could be using that space out. So.
Okay. So, Jeff, is this the year to make it happen? I mean, what is that final message to the voters?
This is the year. It is a known fact that better schools equals better communities. And the community of Scottville and greater Scottville, because, we cover almost all of Mason County. We go up and touch the Manistee County line. We go into Oceana County. We go into Lake County. We cover a large expanse. But we know we're the central hub of Central, Mason County Central. Being that, we are asking our folks to make an investment in the future of Mason County Central, but also in the greater Scottville community. It's needed. It's not a want, it's a need, and we really are imploring our folks to get out there to vote tomorrow because we need your support.
All right, and you can hear it from the kids and our one in the studio. Kelly, we appreciate you coming in this morning, and your little one there. What's his name again? One more time.
This is Ansel.
Ansel
Stojic.
Okay, there you go. And Jeff, we appreciate you coming in. I know I know it's been a tough climb, but I think the biggest message that just pulling away from today is that we do have an outdated school. There is security issues. There is space limitations, but also this has been voted down a few times now. It's time to really reconsider that and get the majority of the voters out. You said 750 roughly are registered to vote.
Correct.
125 showed up. That's a dismal percentage,
Yep.
And that's got to change. So we appreciate both of you coming in for this. Anything else that we missed, Jeff, that we wanted to mention?
Very well done, Chris. Appreciate it.
Well, I appreciate both of you coming in today. If you've missed any part of this segment, please watch it on our Facebook page, our YouTube channel. Kelli, is there a resource out there that we could send people to find even more details about this?
Yes. You can go to voteyesformcc.com. And that will direct you to any of the information that you need about the bond proposal. You can also go directly to the Mason County Central District website. We have polling locations. We have links there to help make sure you're registered to vote. All of the ballot language explanations. There's even a calculator where you can put in your taxable home value and find out what your monthly contribution would be.
All right. Sounds great. Thanks,
Yeah.
both of you, for coming in today.
Thank you
Thanks
so much.
for having us, Chris.
You got it. It's 10:02 here on 102.7 Mom FM. Stick around. John Tesh coming up next on Mom FM.